Good morning, gentlemen. Now, today we will have an interview of Anmol Chauhan. He is from Banda UP. His father is ex-serviceman, presently working as an operator in UPPCL with 48,000 rupees per month. His mother is a homemaker. He has got elder sister who is MSc, and as per him, she is a performer. She earns about 50,000 rupees per month. Then he has been part of Scouts and Guide for 3 years, and he has also been with NCC for 1 year. He himself has passed his 10th with 90.4% from CBSE, then 12th with 82.8%, and presently he has joined BTech as a distance course from IGNOU, and he has been from Rashtriya Military School Bangalore. He plays basketball, football, athletics, and he has represented school as well as the house. His hobbies are podcast, creative writing, trekking. They are his hobbies. Extracurriculars, he has been taking part in elocution, quiz, story writing, drama, and other aspects of it. He has held the appointment of school captain in 12th, and 11th he was vice captain in 11th, vice house captain in 11th. He has appeared in twice for Air Force, and he has been conferenced out. Now he is going for naval entry. I would say again for Navy. He is applying for again for India for Navy. So now it's all up to Captain Sister and Anmol. We leave it to them, and we're all been muted. We note down whatever we have points, and at the end of it, we'll discuss. Okay, right then. Best of luck, Anmol. It's all yours, Captain Sister.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, good morning, Anmol. How are you?
Morning, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Great. So, how was your experience of Rashtriya Indian Military School Bangalore?
It was very great, sir. Like spending 7 years in the school. They were some of my best memories, sir. I had made with my friends. And, sir, the platform and the opportunity which I got there, sir, it shaped me, sir. So, it was a very good experience, sir, altogether.
I remember there are a lot of boxers coming out from your school. So, you didn't take up boxing?
No, sir, I didn't take, sir.
Because in India, we had then military school Bangalore, we used to have a lot of boxers. So,
Yes, sir.
good, great. So, very nice to know that you are also from a very illustrious institution. And what are you presently doing?
Sir, I'm presently, I have joined the IGNOU University, and there I'm doing BTech. Along with that, sir, I'm also preparing for my IIT examination, sir. I have joined a coaching, sir, in FITZI. I have joined FITZI, and there I'm simultaneously preparing for it. So also, along with that, sir, I've been preparing for my SSB, sir, and
So,
also for my Indian.
so this BTech course that you have applied for, it is in which stream?
It is in mechanical engineering, sir.
Which mechanical engineering?
Right, sir.
So how is this distance learning helping you?
Sir, basically, sir, when I appeared previously, sir, for the KSET examination, and I've also given my IIT examination. So, sir, I got around 88 percentile, sir. So, I believe that sir, I would have done much better, sir, had I got more time, sir. So that's why, so that I can simultaneously prepare for my GE, I had applied for the distance learning. So basically, sir, so that my year does not get wasted, because the main focus is to clear the JE this time, sir. So that is the reason that I joined the distance learning course.
Okay. So now you have been previous 2 attempts you have gone to SSB. Which SSB was that?
It was, sir, 1 FSB Dehradun.
Dehradun. Okay. So you were conferenced out. What was the reason, in your opinion, for getting conferenced out?
Right, sir. So after getting conference out, the first thing I did was I talked to my school principal, Lieutenant Colonel Dipankar Chaudhary. And, sir, I got to know, sir, and after a lot of introspection also, I got to know that, sir, throughout, sir, I was very result oriented. Like I was focusing more upon the results rather than focusing upon that present moment and giving my best. I was not able to give my best because, sir, I was continuously thinking about the result. That's why, sir, I believe my performance was not that much good. Along with that, sir, I also found out that my general awareness was not very good, sir. So that I could have answered a few of the questions well. And sir, other than that, sir, I believe I need to be a bit more expressive, sir. While in the GD, sir, like I had some points, but I was not able to properly give them. So all these things, I believe, I was not able to make it last time. So I have worked upon those points, sir,
Are
and I have
they
improved.
are they training you people in school?
Basically, sir, not a training, sir, but I believe, sir, that as we have our principal, sir, who is also from the army, and also our administrative officer, who is Major Vikas Sarwa. So basically, sir, they teach us and they tell us their experiences, sir. So basically, it's a kind of training only, sir, I would say. But
So
yes, sir, they share their.
in your batch of class, how many people volunteered for NDA and how many got through?
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, as it is my third attempt, sir. In the very first attempt, sir, six of my classmates made it, sir. Like the class strength is 48, out of which 17 cleared their NDA written, and sir, including everything, sir, like medicals and all that, six finally joined the academy. In the subsequent attempt, 10 made it, sir, on the next time, on the second attempt, out of which, sir, five joined. They have joined, sir, and recently they have come for their term break also, sir, recently. And this the third time, sir. 18 have cleared this time, sir, and we are going for our SSB.
Hello, all the best. So now, as you are aware, you have been through this experience a couple of times. You are aware that we'll be interacting in English, and should there be a necessity for you to explain yourself in a better form, you may use Hindi, but I would request you to revert back to English as soon as possible. Must have seen that they will keep glass of water and this thing for you to have a sip or two if you feel the need. So be free, and we'll start our interview. That next 45 minutes or so, we'll be talking more about you, covering areas of your life like education, spare time interests, hobbies, family, etc. in detail. Though I have gained some information after going through the PIQ form that you have filled at that time to Colonel Prasad sir, we will be talking more about you during sorry sorry so suppose you tell me about your education starting from class 10 onwards and working up to your present level of education. I would be interested in knowing about the percentage scored in various examinations, the subjects chosen after class 10 for further studies, and also about your future career options. Talk about your participation in extracurricular activities including games, sports, etc., any achievements in them. Mention about the teacher that you liked the most and those who did not impress you much. Talk about your friend circle which you have moved with while at school, college, or hostel. Who are your close friends? Why do you consider them so? Any difficulties in financing your education and such other things. You may start.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I have completed my education, that is my class 10th from Rashtriya Military School Bangalore. There, sir, in my class 10th, I scored 90.4%. In my class 11th, sir, I managed to score 87%. And in class 12, sir, again, I completed it from military school, so I scored 82%, sir, in my class 12. Talking about the various examinations I have gone through, sir, I have given my NDA examination when I was in class 12. Along with that, sir, I have also appeared for the Karnataka CT examination, in which, sir, I was able to secure a percentile of 82%. And in my JEE examination, I was able to secure an average percentile, sir. Talking about my various future options which I had, which I have selected, the first and the foremost was my NDA, sir. That was from my school after class 12. Along with that, sir, I also decided to go for the BTech course. That's why, sir, I am doing BTech in mechanical engineering from Indira Gandhi National Open University. Talking about, sir, the various subjects I chose. After my class 10th, I chose physics, chemistry, and mathematics as my subjects. Along with that, sir, I also chose informatics practices, sir. The reason being is that, sir, because I believe that they help me in my upcoming examinations, sir, as I had to appear for the BTech. So I had made this plan earlier. So I had choose those subjects. Talking about the various co-curricular activities I have participated, sir. So, sir, I have participated in, the school had this great platform, sir. So I participated in various co-curricular activities, which includes, I participated in declamation competition and also the debate competition, sir. Along with that, sir, I, along with my house, participated in the inter-house quiz competition, in which, sir, we were able to win the inter-house quiz trophy. Along with that, sir, I, along with my teammates, participated in the inter-house drama competition, sir, in which I was adjusted as the best actor, sir. And lastly, sir, I participated in the inter-house story writing competition, in which I was able to secure second prize, sir. And sir, talking about some achievement in CCA, sir, I got this best in these activities trophy, sir. So it was all the contribution of my teammates and all the house, sir, because of which I was able to win it. So talking about the various, along with that, sir, I've also participated in the NCC, sir. That was for 1 year in the naval branch. Then talking about the various sports activities, sir, I have participated in the inter basketball competition, and along with my team, we were able to secure silver in inter basketball competition. Then, sir, I have participated in the football competition, in which, sir, in which we won the NCC football trophy also, sir, in football. Along with that, sir, I participated in the athletics and cross country. In athletics, I participated into 4 into 100 meters relay, in which I was able to manage to secure bronze medal. And lastly, sir, I participated in swimming competition. Talking about the various teachers, sir. So basically, sir, as the teachers are like our parents, sir, as we are throughout the year, most of the time is spent in the school. So they are like our parents. So basically, nearly I like all the teachers, but the teachers which impressed me the most. The first one was my school principal, sir, Lieutenant Colonel Dipankar Chaudhary. The reason being is that, sir, he was always a motivating factor for all of us, and he was a kind of role model, sir. Like, we used to look upon him, and he used to tell us that we must utilize all the resources which are being present in the school, and we must try to develop ourselves, sir. That is the first. That is my role model, sir. Secondly, sir, the teacher which impressed me was my English teacher, sir. She was Miss Sarita Sharma, ma'am. And the reason being is that, sir, when I joined the school, I was not very much into these debates and declamation competitions. So, sir, she made me aware the importance of communication skills and the importance of participating in all these events, so that ultimately I can develop or I can innovate the stage fear, sir, which I had earlier when I was quite young. So she helped me throughout, sir, and she was also a motivating factor for us, sir. And I liked the way she used to teach us, and she was very understandable, sir. I would say, sir. Then, sir, talking about the various friend circles. So, sir, again, the bond in the school, sir, it is throughout, sir. So I had various friends, sir, and but I would say, sir, some of my best friends, I had 4 to 5 best friends. Those were one was Briyat, sir, who was in my house. One was Salesh, and one was Ratnesh, and one was Vishal, and one was Rajat, sir. And we some of were in my house, and then we used to do variety of things together, sir, like organizing some events, sir. Like in 11th and 12th, we organized various events, sir. Like think about the various participants or the teammates for the particular event. Then, sir, we also prepared together for the India examination. And then, sir, also along with that, we used to play together. On Sundays, we used to get up in the morning and then we used to go and play in the playground fields. So we used to spend considerable time together, sir. And the reason being is that, sir, like, why they were my best friends is because, sir, I believe we had a very good bond. And, sir, we used to do so many things together also. Along with that, sir, I liked the way, sir, like they were quite, I would say they were selfless, sir. Like they had this habit of always putting someone else above them, sir. So that is something which I like mostly in my friends, sir. And that's also. Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Any difficulties in financing your education and such other things?
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe there was no difficulty, sir, in financing my education. My parents provided me the best of the facilities they could have provided me, sir. So I am very much blessed, sir. So I do not believe, sir, there was any difficulty, sir, in financing myself.
Okay, fair enough. So you have been in this school. Why did you join this particular school?
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, it was my father, sir. From the very beginning, when I was in class 6, my father decided that the career option was, I believe, was selected by my father at that time only. And I was also a bit aware about that as I was in the military cantonment area. So my father decided that so that I could have more exposure regarding the defense and regarding the military. So he decided to join me in military school. So earlier, sir, I was not very much aware that why I am joining this school. But, sir, after spending considerable time there, I have realized, sir, that how much important it was for me to join that prestigious school.
So why in particular Bangalore? I mean, I'm sure, you could have had other options also. Say, Sainik schools are there in and around. You belong to UP. They have
Correct.
nearby schools plus Rashtriya Indian Military College (RIMC).
Right, sir.
Why only Bangalore?
Yes, sir. Sir, basically, the exam which we give, sir, it is based upon the merit, sir. So I believe, sir, I was good. I was good in the merit, so I got Bangalore, sir. I've also paid for the select examination, sir, and I managed to clear that also. But, sir, I decided, or my family decided, that military school would be better, sir. So I joined military school Bangalore.
You didn't join RIMC. You didn't attempt
No,
RIMC.
sir. No, sir, I didn't appear for RMC, sir.
Why?
Sir, as it is in class 8, sir. So after spending 2-3 years in the school, sir, I was very fixed that this is something which, this is the environment I would like to live, sir. So rather than changing my college or my school, sir, I decided that I will spend all the time here only, sir, 7 years. I
Okay.
did not appear.
So how did you find when you went to school first time? Like you must be very young, seventh class or so, fairly young and going for first time to the boarding school. How was your feeling and emotions about leaving your house and being there?
Right, sir. So, sir, it is the first time when someone of 15 years of age, sir, he steps out of the home. So, sir, basically that emotion is always there, sir. So when I was in class 6, sir, I was not knowing very much, sir. It was all talking to my parents. But then soon I realized, sir, my seniors were very good, and my classmates were also very good. The teachers, everything was so good, sir, that ultimately, sir, I was engrossed in all those activities, sir, whatever was happening in the school. So I did not have the time to think what is happening in my family and all that. So I was very much focused on those lines, sir. So it was all emotional, sir, in the very beginning. But sooner I realized, sir, that it is for my own benefit, as my family decided me to send me there. And I realize also now, sir, that it was ultimately a very good plan for my family to send me there, sir. As it provided me, basically, sir, it shaped myself, sir. I shaped myself, sir, studying there from past 7 years.
So what do you feel if you would not have joined the school, would that have been better, or joining the school was a better option, proved, and why so?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is very obvious, sir, joining the school, I believe, in my opinion, sir, it was very better, sir. The reason being is that, sir, the school teaches a lot of things, sir. The first and the foremost thing is the school has made me mentally very strong. Like, simultaneously, I can manage so many things, sir. Like in school, we have a very strict schedule. We have to manage our sports, curricular activities. Along with that, we have to manage our academics. Then, sir, we have certain functions which are going throughout the school. So mentally, sir, school has prepared me such that I can manage, I believe, most of the things, sir, presently in my life right now. Secondly, sir, that independence. So, like, as we know that in the very beginning, we are quite dependent upon our parents. But, sir, school taught me how to be independent. That is managing my own time. Then, sir, setting up my own dresses, washing my own clothes. And then, sir, it's all about, sir, being quite independent, sir. So it also helped me, sir. Thirdly, sir, the bond which we develop there, sir, it is a kind of family, sir. Like it provides us new exposure, a new kind of family. There we have lot many friends, teachers. So learning from their experiences, sir. So it also taught me a lot. Fourthly, sir, I believe that the opportunities which are there in the school, be it sports, be it co-curricular activities, like sir, we have lot many fields in the school, and I learned various sports just because I was studying in military school, sir. Because of that, I got the exposure to play basketball, football. As sir, I am from Banda, that is a kind of semi-rural place. So these sports are not there, sir, at my area, sir. So of course, sir, the exposure was there, sir. So I got to learn about various things and all that. And above all, sir, that 7 years bond, sir, which will always stay with me, sir. The bond which I made with my friends. That is for the life, sir, I would say. So it was a good option, sir, joining the military school, I would say.
So you mentioned about your four friends. They must also be from different part of India. So how did you manage to
Right.
gel around together, and what was the common qualities that you found that made the bonding so close to with each other?
Right, sir. Yes, sir. They are from various parts. Like Brihad is from Chhattisgarh and Shailesh is from Madhya Pradesh. So I believe, sir, that basically, sir, it is not like that someone is from different place, so we cannot gel together. Basically, sir, people in the school, they are from the various parts of the country. So that is something which we learn in the school, that, sir, be it, it's all about the qualities, sir, or it's all about the various interests which we share together. Like, sir, Brihad, they had very much inclination towards this sports activities, and I also used to play basketball, sir. So ultimately, we used to play together, sir. Then with Salesh, it was like, sir, we used to spend considerable time studying together, sir, like for preparing for various examinations or the school examinations. So specifically, sir, I do not believe that there is such anything which I believe I find before making friends. It's just that, sir, I talk to that person, and then, sir, ultimately that bond is formed, sir. Sharing about various feelings, emotions, studying together, playing together, going outside together, sir. So it's all those things, sir.
Okay. You scored 90% in 10th and your percentage went down in 12 to 82%. What was the reason for that?
Thank you. So, sir, I believe that was not in my image, sir, to score 82% in class 12, and I believe it was my mistake.
One sec.
Right, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir. So, sir, it was not in my image, sir, to score such less percentage in class 12, that is 82%. And, sir, I do accept my mistake also, sir. But, sir, I believe that in class 12, I was more into the school, and I was more, sir, as I was the appointment, so I was more into the setting of the school. And, sir, also, sir, in my class 12, we had this once in a lifetime opportunity, sir. The Platinum Jubilee was there in class 12. Like, the school completed 75 years, and the chief guest of that event was President Ramnath Kovind. So, sir, entire school was engrossed in that thing also, sir. So, I was very much engrossed in that thing. And ultimately, sir, this feeling was also there that it is our last year, so I must play all the sports, I must do all the things, sir, before passing out from the school. So, the focus was not very much into the studies, I would say, sir. That was my mistake, sir, I believe. So, that was the reason, sir, I was not able to score very good in my class.
What was your percentage in JEE exams?
Sir, it was 88 percentile, sir.
83 percentile.
88 percentile, sir.
88. And this you did without attending any coaching or anything?
No, sir. Like, sir, basically for my board examinations, I attended some lectures online. So, that support was always there, sir. And teachers were there, sir. Whenever I used to have doubt, they used to clarify me. So, I managed to score this much.
Okay. What was other exam which you undertook other than JEE and NDA?
Sir, one was the Karnataka CET examination, sir. That is for the universities in Karnataka.
So
I
what?
undertook that.
What was your percentage and the outcome of that exam?
It was 82%, sir. And basically, sir, I had the outcome was that I was getting a university in Karnataka. But, sir, I believe that my focus was that if by studying this much, I have managed to secure 88 percentile, then why not to go for a better option, sir? Like, why not to give full focus this time and secure a rank in IIT, sir, or secure an IIT? That was my main, sir, motive. That's why I did not join, sir, any university in Karnataka.
Okay. Now, why are you attempted Air Force? Your father is from Army and you have been from an Army background. Any specific reason for choosing Air Force and now you're going for Navy?
Right, sir. Sir, basically, sir, it was earlier my inclination towards the fighter aircraft, and I was very much keen to become a fighter pilot, sir. So that was my reason for joining the Air Force. And basically, sir, I believe that the core qualities which are required, it is generally same in all the armed forces, sir, be it Army, Air Force, or Navy. So it's just that, sir, sometimes we have that interest. And this time, sir, I opted for Navy because, sir, I believe that slowly my interest got shifted towards these various ships, submarines. And also, sir, one of the changing point was that, sir, in the recent Platinum Jubilee celebration, we have our Vice Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Satish Namdev Gurmade, who is the present Vice Chief of Naval Staff. So, sir, I had an interaction with him, and ultimately, sir, it motivated me, sir, to join the Navy, sir, and go for Navy this time. So that is the reason, sir, I going for Navy this time.
Okay, fine. So tell me something like, we know that if we put a nail inside a bucket of water, it sinks. How is the ship able to float?
Right, sir. So basically, it's the Archimedes principle which takes into place here. And it is a kind of buoyant force, sir. That is, the body, it is submerged in a fluid. It experiences an upward force which is equal to the weight of water displaced by the body. So the nail is not able to displace that much amount of water, so that the buoyant force is not enough. Whereas if we see the ship, the amount of water it displaces is quite high, sir. So it is able to float properly.
Okay. And why does aircraft is able to fly whereas other things are not?
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, the first and the foremost reason is aerodynamic shape. As sir, generally, Bernoulli's theorem goes into place whenever an aircraft flies. Basically, the lift is created. That is the air which is downside of a plane. That is downside of wing. It is of higher pressure. Whereas if we see the air which is at the top of the wing side, it is of low pressure. So it creates an uplift. That is the first reason, sir. The second reason is the thrust. As we know that various other things, they are not able to create that much thrust so that they are able to fly. Second reason is that, sir. So combination of both of them, thrust as well as the uplift, makes an aircraft fly.
Okay. Tell me, how many commands are there in the Navy?
Yes, sir. So there are 3 commands in the Navy, sir.
Okay. Which are those?
Yes, sir. The Eastern Command is in Visakhapatnam, sir. The Western Command is in Mumbai, and the Southern Command is in Kochi, sir.
Okay. What about Far Eastern Command?
Yes, sir.
What about Far Eastern Command?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. Tell me, which is the latest acquisition undertaken by Navy latest ship?
Yes, sir. Sir, like it was, I heard it is INS Marmugao, sir. Like it was into trial, sir. INS Marmugao.
What is that?
Sir, I do not read it, sir, but I just went through the headlines, sir. I would read it probably, sir, now.
Okay, fair enough. You mentioned something about selflessness displayed by your friends, and that was one of the common qualities. Can you give me some example of what it was that made you think that selflessness is what is working between all of you?
Right, sir. Sir, so there are various examples I can cite here. But, sir, one of the examples which I remember, sir, is that, sir, it was the time, sir, we just had our examination on the next day. Like we were having our, I believe, sir, we were having our board examinations. And it recently happened, sir, when we were in class 12, sir. So one of my friends, sir, like we had the examination on the next day only, sir. And one of my friend got seriously injured, sir. Like in the evening, he got injured playing football, sir. So it was all, sir, bleeding and all that, sir. So we decided that, sir, we boards next day. No, not a worry, but we will go with our friends, sir, to the nearby command hospital, sir. And throughout the night, sir, we were there with our friends in the command hospital. And subsequently in the morning, we came and, sir, we went for the examination. So, sir, we sacrificed our examination, or I would say, sir, like our major concern was that our friends should be fine, sir. Be it boards, it's not a problem. We will manage that. But the first priority should be our friends, sir. So I, along with Salesh, as Brihad was injured, sir, so I and Salesh, sir, we went to the hospital, sir, and we stayed with him together. This is one example, sir. And other examples are like basically, sir, sacrificing our own needs, sir. Like once what happened was that as Salesh is from my own house, sir, so we had this intra basketball competition, and we both generally played well, sir, I believe. But sir, as I believe that I told Salesh that please allow me to play this time. So he sacrificed himself. Sir. He told that okay, no problem. I will let you play this time. I will not play. So for me, sir, he told that you should play. So he sacrificed himself for myself, sir. So I believe all these things, sir.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, it was like in football, he participated, sir. Already he participated in football, sir. And I did not participate in football. So I just asked him that if you allow me to participate in basketball, it would be so kind of you. So he allowed me to participate in basketball.
Yeah, it happens. So you have been a school captain. Why do you think, what were the qualities that made you become school captain?
Right, sir. So basically, in class 11, sir, basically we have this concept of there is a panel, sir, which is being set for that, for selecting the school captain. And the various things they see are that first the foremost thing is someone who is, sir, quite all-rounder, sir. As I believe, sir, I was fairly fine, sir, in my academics as well as my CC activities and my school activities. So that was the very reason, sir, I believe I was selected along with me. The second reason is that, sir, we have this penta competition, sir. Pentangular meet, that is among the 5 military schools. So in class 10th, I participated in the penta competition and I was able to do well in that also. So that was also the mark, I believe, which the teachers of that faculty saw in me. And lastly, sir, the discipline, sir. I believe, as in school, we have this concept of dossiers. So basically, if we have 3 red dossiers, we will be thrown out of the school. So I do not have any dossiers or any indiscipline activities. That added to my favor.
Okay. So you didn't do anything mischievous in your school ever in this so many years?
Sir, I would say, sir, not very much mischievous, but yes, sir. Of course, sir. Mischievous I did, sir. I did.
I mean, military
Right.
school boys and not doing borders and not doing any kind of mischievous thing is not. Can you give me some examples? What was the best one you liked?
Right.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. So the first thing was that always playing in rain, sir. Like we were advised never to play in rain. Our PTA officer was always against us, sir. Like whenever we used to play in rain, we used to straightforward come and snatch our ball. But we had this habit of always playing in rain, sir, because Bangalore, basically, sir, we have this rain. That was the first thing, sir. The second thing was, sir, that giving surprises, sir, like waking up late night, sir. Subsequently, like suppose one of my friends is having his birthday on the next day. So, sir, though the lights of timing was around 10:30, sir, but sir, because of our friends, sir, we used to wake up late night, sir. We used to give him birthday bombs, sir. So that was another mischievous activity, sir.
And you didn't do any Kambal parade?
Sir, it was very much frequent when you were in class 7th and 8th, sir, because you were not very much mature enough, sir. But then, sir, we realized that we have this concept, sir, that is one for all for one. So we realized that, like earlier when we were in 7th and 8th, we were quite immature, sir. So whenever we were getting any punishment from because of one of our friends, we used to tell him, like sir, you said, Kamal parade. But then, sir, we realized that he's our friend only. Sometimes mistake to happen. So why to, sir? So we just try to explain him that please don't repeat it. Otherwise, we are always there for you. Even if you do, we all are together. That was our.
So how many times your group of friends got punished because of your mistake?
Sir, as I recall, sir, it was, I would say 1 or 2 times, sir. Because of me, my classmates were punished, sir. And
What was that?
I was in class 8, sir, at that time, sir.
So
Yes,
what did you do that they got punished?
Right, sir. So basically, sir, we had this fallen, sir. That is, one of our senior had this fallen. And sir, as sir, in schools, we were not allowed with phones. So I was talking to my parents in the STD. And sir, I did not realize that the time for the fallen had started. So I was like, sir, I was very quiet, sir, in class 7th and 8th. It was all emotions. So I was just talking to my parents. And my friends told me that, talk faster as fallen is there. I told, please give me some more time. Because of it, sir, I got late for around 10 minutes. Because I was talking to my parents. And because of that, sir, the entire class, because of me. So I believe, sir, I then asked them sorry, and then I told them that I will never repeat it. So please forgive me this time.
So you haven't done you haven't gone on French leave or something like that?
Sir, basically we have this concept of outpass. Like generally twice a week we get this outpass. So sir, we along with my friends, we go outside, sir, as an outpass.
No, but no, without outpass wala thing. Once at least for the sake of experience.
No, sir. But
a lot of my course from India used to talk about going on French leave from your school.
Basically, sir, like I have a few classmates who used to go outside. So if I required anything, I used to tell them, sir. But then, sir, ultimately it stopped because of the authorities, and I would say the school was quite strict, sir. So I did not find myself going nor my friends going, sir, when we were in class 11th and 12th.
So if your friends are going and you come to know of it, what actions did you take?
Sir, first of all, I would tell them that it's against the norms of the school. As sir, it is for our own benefit only, sir. Like we are advised not to go outside without informing, because as we know, sir, we are studying in a boarding school, and the responsibility is upon the school authorities, as our parents are away from us. So it's very wrong for my friends, sir, to go outside without any prior permission or without taking information. So sir, I will confront him then and there only, and I will tell him, please do not do it. If you want an outpass, you can subsequently ask the authorities. They are very much cooperative with us, so you can get the outpass, sir, I would say.
Well, that gives me a fair idea about your education and other related activities. Now, I would be interested in knowing about your spare time interests, hobbies, etc. What do you like to watch on TV? If you have facility to access internet, how do you make the use of it. I would also like to know of your routine on a working day or a holiday. I mean, when you used to come back from school term break, because in school I understand you have your own routine, but what you are following now and what was when you were coming back on leave from school.
Right, sir. Talking about, sir, my various interests, hobbies. So this is something which I've developed recently. That is listening to various interviews. That is listening to various podcasts. Basically, sir, I listen to various serving officers. Like they talk about the various combat experiences, sir. Like, sir, generally I was very much interested to know like how a combat takes place. Like, what is that feeling? What is that emotions which a army officer undergoes while he's in combat? So I've listened to various podcasts of various special forces officers, sir. Secondly, sir, I have this habit of writing diaries, sir. Like whenever I find something interesting or I find something interesting throughout the day, I mention it in my diary. Other than that, sir, I'm into creative writing, sir. That is writing various articles, and some of my articles also found place in the school magazines, sir. Like I wrote an article about the school, our 7 years in the school, sir, the golden 7 years. So I wrote an article about that, and it got space in the school magazine also. Along with that, sir, I have this. I developed this kind of interest also, sir, that is for trekking. As sir, my father was posted in Udhampur, and we went for Patni Top and Natha Top. That are the tourist places in Udhampur. So gradually some interest was at that point, at that side also. Now, sir, talking about the various things I would watch on TV, sir. Basically, sir, from the very beginning, I had this habit of not watching TV that much, sir, as I was in school, and subsequently, sir, I believe sometimes, sir, when I used to come back from my vacation, I along with my father used to sit together and watch some news. Other than that, sir, I do not find watching TV that much in my interest. Talking about, sir, the internet usage, sir, as we have so much of resources over the internet, so basically I spend my time surfing on the YouTube, sir, that is watching various videos. Like I watch some study IQ channels there in YouTube, which tells about the day-to-day happening. Along with that, sir, we have this World Affair by Prashant Dhawan, sir, who makes videos of geopolitical events. Along with that, sir, I also blog various sites. Like we have this IMR, sir, Indian Military Review. That there is one app called IMR. Along with that, sir, we have this app Indian Express. And also, sir, I refer to reading The Hindu over online, sir. That is, I managed to get the PDF online. I read over that, sir. Now, sir, talking about my routine, sir. As presently, sir, I'm in PG, sir. That is focusing on my JEE as well as my distance learning. So basically, the schedule here is that, sir, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Then, sir, by 6 o'clock, from 6 to 7 o'clock, sir, I along with my 4 to 5 friends here in the PG, sir, we go outside. As right beside my PG, we have this beautiful park, sir, and we jog around it, sir, and for around 15 to 20 minutes, we run. After that, sir, we do some push-ups or we do some sprints, hopping or something like that, sir. Then by 7 o'clock, I come back from there. Then, sir, from 7 to 7:30, sorry, sir, from 7 to 8 o'clock, I have my breakfast and all those, taking bath and all that, sir. Then, sir, straightforward from 8 to 9 o'clock, sir, I have this habit of reading newspapers, sir. That is in the morning. From 8 to 9 o'clock, I read the newspaper. Then the Hindu, basically. Then, sir, from 9 to 10 o'clock, I try to revise the concepts. Like basically, what will be taught in the classes, sir. That is my coaching classes or my online classes. What will be taught? So I managed to revise that thing from 9 to 10 o'clock. Then, sir, from 10 to 3 o'clock, basically it's the FITZI classes, sir. That is for the JEE classes. As sir, the JEE is approaching, sir, it is hardly any time left for JEE. So I have prioritized my JEE, sir, over my present BTech online learning. So from 10 to 3 o'clock, basically it's the classes where I go, sir. And basically we have 2 hours period for physics and chemistry and all those subjects. Then, sir, I come by 3 o'clock. Then from 3 to 3:30, I have my lunch. Then, sir, from 3:30 to 4:30, I take rest, sir. Basically a power nap, I would say. Then, sir, from 4:30 to 6:30, sir, for 2 hours continuous stretch, I study. I study basically physics or chemistry or whatever which is being taught in the school. I try to revise that, sir, so that I do not forget it. I revise those things. Then, sir, from 6:30 to 7:30, again, sir, it is a good time, sir. That is, I with my friends, we go outside in the nearby park, sir. We play football, or sir, we do some running, or we basically talk or have some exchanges, sir. Then, sir, by 8:30, I come back. Sorry, sir, from 6:30 to 7:30, I go outside and play. Then sir, from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I have my dinner. Then sir, from 8 to 8:30, I have this discussion, sir. Like basically it is for my SSB preparation also, sir. Like we have this group online, sir, in Telegram where we discuss about certain aspects or some certain geopolitical things. So we discuss till that is till 8:30 o'clock, till 8:30. Then sir, from 8:30 to 10:30, sir, again 2 hours stretch, I revise or I study the concepts or I solve mathematical problems or I solve the previous year questions for my JEE. Or also, sir, at times I revise what is being taught in the online BTech courses, sir, which I am presently going. Then, sir, after 10:30, I write my diary, sir. That is, if certain event I like throughout the day. But I also try to introspect myself, sir, that throughout the day, did I wasted my time somewhere or something which I could have done better, sir. I realized I mentioned about those things. And along with that, sir, I also sometimes watch certain documentaries or certain interviews, sir, like podcasts, listening to podcasts. That is at night. And then ultimately, I make my schedule for the subsequent day, what I will do tomorrow, sir. After that, sir, I sleep by 12 o'clock, sir. That is my routine, sir, here, which I was following in my PG, sir. Then, sir, the routine which I followed in after coming from vacation, sir. So basically, sir, I would say for 2-3 days, it was all like joy, sir. It was all fun. As their mother, father, sir, they used to pamper me, sir, that, okay, son has come after a long time. So basically, for 2-3 days, it was not any particular schedule, sir. It was all eating all the food items of my mother and then subsequently, sir, helping my mother, sir, in certain things like buying certain items or helping my father, sir, and going with with my father. After that, sir, I made my schedule. That was basically, sir, I used to get up by 6 o'clock. Then from 6 to 7 o'clock, I with my father or with my various friends in the neighborhood. I used to go outside again. I used to go for a run or go for a jog, sir, with my friends till 7 o'clock, sir. Then, sir, from 7 to 8 o'clock, again breakfast and all that, sir, in my home. And basically, sir, the nice food made by my mother and all that, sir. Then from 8 to 9 o'clock, sir, again, I had this habit of reading newspapers, sir, as like not properly the newspapers, sir, but yes, I used to go through the headlines and I used to make myself aware, sir, about the day-to-day happenings. Then, sir, from 9 to, I believe, 9 to 12 o'clock, sir, I used to study or I used to do the various holiday homework which I used to get, sir, at that time, whatever my school used to give me. Or, sir, I used to prepare myself as I believe my seniors used to tell me that whenever you go for vacations, always try to study. Like you have so much of time. Like in school, you do not get much time as we are into so many activities. So I used to utilize my time at home for studying. So till 12 o'clock, I used to study, sir. That is physics, chemistry, or mathematics, or something like that, sir. Then, sir, from I believe after 12 o'clock, sir, it was like not a very particular schedule. Like I would talk with my father or talk with my mother, sir, till 2 o'clock. Then, sir, we will have our lunch. Then till 2:30. Then, sir, again, I used to sleep from 2:30 to 3:30, sir. Then again, sir, I used to study at my home. That is from 3:30 to 6:30, sir. Again, 2 hours stretch. I used to study various subjects and all that, sir. Then, sir, again, from 6:30 to in 7:30 or 8 o'clock, I with my friends used to go outside, sir. At my home also, sir. Like I had some great friends there also, sir. So again, we used to go outside and play, sir. Then, sir, again, after coming back, 8:30, I used to have my dinner, sir, and writing diaries sometimes or listening to something, sir. Like at times I used to, as I said, sir, I listened to various interviews or, sir, something blogging on various sites like Quora or, sir, certain online things. I used to do that, sir. And then, sir, at night, sir, it was all talking with my mother, with my father, and then, sir, I used to sleep off. Not a very particular schedule, sir, but it was there.
Okay. Now you mentioned that like you have a group discussion and all, within a Telegram channel. What was the last topic that you people discussed?
Yes, sir. The last topic which we discussed was that recently the China has been more aggressive over the border issues. As recently we have seen that there was a clashes in the Tawang sector, sir, of Arunachal Pradesh. So the topic was that what, according to you, is the major reason why China is being more offensive? The first lead was that because China wants to capture Arunachal Pradesh. The second lead was that because China, it's a kind of red herring, sir. As we know that quite instability is there in China. So it is a kind of red herring for their own common people. That is why China is doing this border clashes. And thirdly, sir, it is to have the geopolitical dominance. So these were the three leads, sir, or the last topic which we discussed.
Okay. Why do you think they are after Arunachal Pradesh?
Sir, I believe because China believes that Arunachal Pradesh was a part of Tibet. So basically, they have this policy of expanding, sir. Like they have their clashes with so many countries, Taiwan being one, India being second, and then, sir, Macau is also there. South China Sea dispute is also there. So they want to expand, sir. Their policy is of expansion. That's why they want to capture Arunachal Pradesh also.
What do you think about their initiative on CPAC? What they are taking, and what do you think, and how it is going to affect India?
Right, sir. So basically, sir, I believe it is a very beneficial for China as China-Pakistan economic corridor. It would be passing through the Gwadar area, and subsequently it would ultimately reach to Gwadar, sir, right? I'm not very much aware about the starting point, but the path is throughout the Pakistan. It is reaching to the Gwadar port, and as we know that Gwadar is a place where trade happens. So it is trying to, sir, it is trying to manage its resources in a different manner. As we know that India has a very geopolitical strategic location, sir, as India lies in the Indian Ocean. So in order to overtake India in terms of that trade and all that things, China has made this CPEC corridor. So ultimately, it would be a major boost, sir. As I believe China would ultimately have economic growth because of the China-Pakistan economic corridor, as it is traversing through various countries and subsequently like Pakistan and all that. So ultimately, the logistics would be less, sir, as we know that other than traveling from Indian Ocean and all, going to Gwadar port and all that, it would be strategically more beneficial, less cost reduction, more effective, sir. That is straight away going from Pakistan to Gwadar port. So it is basically India. China is trying to entangle India, sir. That is, we have this policy of necklace of diamonds, sir, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Sorry, sir, it is policy of India necklace of diamonds. It is string of pearls policy, sir, of China, which is to entangle India, sir.
Okay. Tell me something about if you were made the defense minister and I give you a choice about Agniveer, what would be your decision?
Right, sir. Sir, I believe it is a very good decision, Agniveer. As we know that, sir, there are various aspects to it. The first and the foremost aspect is that I believe that our country, India, is not able to modernize that much because most of our budget is spent upon the pensions, sir. As we know that majority of the part of the defense budget, it goes into the pension. So it is a very good initiative, sir, I believe, by the government to reduce the pension so that we can modernize our defense forces, sir. As we know that in the various developed countries also, we have this concept that the most of the amount is spent upon modernizing that particular forces. Whereas if we see in our country, most of the budget is spent upon pensions. So I believe it is a very good initiative by the government to focus more upon the modernizing. As we know that, sir, future wars would be all about modern weapons, modern technology. So it is a very good initiative. The second thing I believe is that, sir, providing exposure at such a young age, it would be very beneficial for the youth also. As we know that 17 years is not a very that much age. So it would provide exposure to all the youth. That's why I also believe it is a very good policy by the government. Thirdly, sir, serving in the armed forces for 7 years itself may be life-changing for so many youth, as they will be more disciplined, I would say. They will be more responsible towards the nation or towards their duty, sir. So subsequently, it would be beneficial for them also. And lastly, sir, I believe the present requirement of the army, if we see that the average age of a soldier in the Indian army is 32 years, which is quite high, sir. But if you see in various developed countries, the age is around 27. So it would also reduce down the age of the working professionals. It would bring down the age from 32 years to around 26 years. Sir. As we need quite swift army, sir. Like we need more younger, warm blood, sir. So ultimately, Agniveer will provide that all those things which are required. Sir. It would also give a very great boost to the army. So altogether, it is a very good decision to have this scheme.
What do you think it will have impact on your security aspects?
Right, sir. Sir, I believe, sir, the security would be like presently we have this policy of securing or guarding our borders. So I believe it would not have much impact over our security, as it would be altogether the same only, sir. Like earlier we used to have the normal recruitment for rally, and now we have this Agniveer. So I believe that dedication or the commitment towards the duty would always be there, sir. Like there would be no compromise about the security. It's just that we have changed the policy how we are inducting it. We are not changing that core things that are required in the defense forces. Like that bond, that affection will always be there, sir, to safeguard our borders. So it's just the policy which has been changed. Ultimately, there will be no compromise on the security, sir, in my point of view.
Okay. Tell me, in this Ukraine-Russia war, it has been going on for such a long time. You know, with Russia is more advanced and has more weaponries and firepower thrust. What is the reason that they were not able to achieve their objectives, the Russians?
Right, sir. Right, sir. The first and the foremost thing is that the support of the NATO, sir. As we know that Ukraine, though a very small country, but it is getting all the arms and ammunition from various countries like America, from Britain. So as America is providing it various missiles and all that defense equipment, that's why it is able to manage till now, sir, the Russian aggression. Sir. That is the first reason. The second reason is that, sir, I would say the assistance or the aid, like we have various packages which are being provided by the international communities. Like recently, the Britain, like recently in the upcoming America defense budget, I read, sir, that around 10 billion or some amount was given for especially for Ukraine. So the assistance is there for the Ukraine. That is the first point. I believe, sir, the other reason why Ukraine is able to sustain is that because I believe though they are not that much, though their army is not that much modernized, or though their army is not that much uh, full, as we see the Russian army is quite large. But I believe that they have this the duty, or they have this commitment towards their nation, sir. Like they have this strong patriotism in themselves. That's why they are able to retrain themselves, sir. Because I believe army is not just fought by the weapons; it is also fought by the morale of the soldiers. And as we know that the Ukrainian president Vladimir Zelensky is very much firm, sir. He's very much firm about his various policies. The soldiers of the Ukraine, they are also very much firm, sir. Like they are strictly against that some country are trying to capture their territory, sir. So I believe morale is also one of the aspects why they are able to sustain such for such a long time.
The Russian forces do not have that much of morale and motivation in comparison to Ukraine. That is the primary reason, in your opinion.
Sir, they have the morale, sir. But ultimately, here we see that the aggression is upon the Ukraine, sir. Now, basically, if we see that any country, if it is being captured, sir, ultimately, I believe that sense of belongingness would be quite higher, sir, because they are capturing our own territory. So I believe that is the reason, sir. And I believe altogether, sir, Russia has compromised, or Russia has mistaken the power and the grit of Ukraine, sir, because they thought that they will capture it within a time span of around 1 to 2 months, as it is a very small country. But they have miscalculated all these things, sir, I believe.
Okay. Well, that gives me a fair idea about you. Now, I'd be interested in knowing about your family. Tell me about the members of your family, including grandparents, brothers, sisters, etc., in detail. What are their qualification and occupation? I would also like to know about the general activities, the ones in which you get personally involved at home. Who do you approach for help if you have a problem or you want to confide? Mention about your friend circle in the neighborhood. How do you spend time together? How much of pocket money do you get or used to get, and how you used to spend it?
Right, sir. Talking about my father, sir. My father is a 10th passer, and he's a retired Subedar, sir, from the Indian Army. He served the army for 30 years, and he retired as a Subedar, and he was in electronic mechanical engineer of the Indian Army. And right now, sir, he's working in the Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited as a substation operator. Talking about my mother, sir. My mother is 10 plus 2, and she is working as a homemaker, sir. Talking about my sister, sir. She is 11 years elder than me, and basically she is based in Delhi, sir. She's working as a perfumer in the Sachi Fragrance and Private Limited. That is a company based in Delhi, sir. She's working there, sir. So talking about the various time which we spend together, sir. So basically, sir, we spend a lot of time together, sir, along with my family. And there are generally, sir, we talk about various aspects, and along with that, sir, basically, sir, at times I help my mother. That is while like for various small things like cleaning, or sir, at times I wake up early in the morning and I water the plants also. Then, sir, going outside with my father to buy various groceries or something like that, sir. Then, sir, along with that, we spend some time sitting, having dinner together, and discussing about the various aspects. And like we discuss about my future career options. Like with my mother, it's generally the talks are basically about the family tree, like what is happening in the family presently. So basically,
Anmol, your
sorry, sir.
yeah,
So you are not audible, sir.
Am I audible now? Hello? Am I audible?
Hello, Anmol, can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is...
Anmol, can you hear me? Hello, Anmol, can you hear me? Hello?
Just a second, sir. I'm just checking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, sir. So, sir, we basically discuss all these things, and I spend a considerable time, sir, with them. And sir, recently, as I believe my father and mother, they are not very much into technology. So I'm teaching them, sir, how to use mobile phones and how to properly use the Android, sir. So that is something which I am doing presently right now, sir. I was teaching when I went home. Then, sir, talking about the various neighborhood friends. So, sir, as we live in an integrated community, so there are a lot many friends, sir, and like a few of them, to mention few of them. One is Gopal, sir, who is just my neighbor, and one is Varun, sir, who is also my neighbor. And sir, again, sir, we spend considerable time together. That is, we go outside and play, and at times, sir, we discuss about our own life experiences. Like, sir, they are one is doing a BSc, sir. So we discuss about those things, and then I discuss about we share our experiences. We play together, and in the morning also, sir, we spend considerable time. That is while going for jog or walking together, sir. So I spend a good time with them, sir. Now talking about the pocket money, sir. So basically, when I was in school, sir, I used to get 300 rupees as a pocket money, sir. Every month we used to get it, and the amount was basically spent upon, sir, buying various items. Like I used to buy some magazines or some books, or at times, sir, I used to spend whenever we used to go outside along with my friends, I used to spend it on buying certain like food items we used to buy, sir. And another place where my money used to spend was that in school we had this concept, sir, of giving treat. That is, if some junior had done very well in some activity, so that he gets motivated to do it well, we used to give him treats, sir. So some amount was spent on that thing also, sir. And then ultimately, whatever amount I was left with, I used to carry back to my home, and I used to give it to my family members. And presently, sir, as I'm staying in PG, I do not require any kind of money, sir. I would say, as my sister also lives in Delhi, so whenever I require any item to buy, I straightforward tell it to her, and she buys that item, sir. So not a very fixed money I get here. It's just that I just whatever I feel, I ask my sister, and I'm able to get it.
So how about your food and all? How do you manage that?
Yes, sir. Basically, sir, right, sir. It is in the budget is in the payment only, sir. Like it is 9,000 something. It includes staying charges as well as the food charges.
Okay, so 9,000 per month you are spending on that.
Right, sir.
Okay, well, fair enough. Now tell me something about your certain aspects of your personality which you think are your strength, and those aspects which you feel you need to improve upon.
Right, sir. So the first thing I believe, sir, is that, sir, I'm very focused and I'm very consistent. Like I believe if I decide that I will try to do this today, I am able to do it, sir, because I believe I am mentally strong enough to do that thing, sir. So the first and the foremost thing is I'm very focused and I'm very consistent, sir, in my things. The second thing is that, sir, I have this ability to improve myself, sir. Like at the end of the day, I try to recollect, sir, like wherever I spend my time, which I should not have spent, or something which I should have done better, sir, throughout the day. So I try to improve myself. That is my second quality. The third quality I believe, sir, is that I have this ability to never give up, sir. Like, sir, earlier, sir, I was not very much good into communications, and I was not very much good in general awareness. But slowly, sir, I started developing interest, and I started working upon them, sir. So I believe that is also my strength, sir. Now, sir, various aspects which I believe I need to improve upon. The first aspect is, sir, that is to manage my time, sir. As there are so many things which I'm doing nowadays, that is managing my GE, also managing my BTech, as well as, sir, also preparing for my NDA SSB, sir. So I believe, though I am able to manage my time, but still, sir, I believe that I need to have that much. I need to enhance my proficiency in that time management, sir. Like I need to be more better time manager, sir. Though I'm able to manage it, but still, sir, I believe I could manage it more well. The second thing is that I need to work upon my various skills, sir, like my physical aspect as well as my playing skills. As, sir, I play basketball, and there are certain positions which I'm not able to play properly. Like I generally play center forward, but when it comes to playing at a different position, I'm not able to play very good. So I need to work upon my playing aspect as well as my physical aspect. Secondly, and thirdly, sir, I believe I need to work more upon my speaking, sir. As my friends tell me that generally I speak very fast, sir. So I am trying to reduce down my pace of speaking very fast, sir. So I've also worked upon that thing, that is by recording my audio, and I try to listen it, and I try to realize if I'm speaking very fast or if I'm speaking in that pace. Because at times, sir, they tell me that the person is not able to exactly understand what I'm saying. So I also working upon that thing.
Okay, so you write diaries basically for self-improvement and all. Can you give me some examples of something which you can share, what you note down in your diary?
Right, sir. Sir, basically, recently I write a diary and I wrote the priorities. Sir. Like basically, just 2 days or prior, sir, we had the dates of JEE announced. So I firstly realized that okay, we have just 1 month left for the JEE, and this is something which I wanted. And so I basically wrote it. I wrote how to manage my preparation, like basically to devote this amount of time in my JEE preparation, and also to this amount of time along with my friends. Then sir, reading newspaper for this amount of time as I have my SSB schedule also, sir. So I basically recently what I wrote was how to manage it effectively and how to achieve it, sir. Like how will I be? How will I go through it? So it was all recently which I mentioned.
So what good things you mentioned, like, something which you notice you have done good in the day, you write. So
Yes,
give me some examples of the good part of what you have noticed and noted.
yes, sir. Sir, basically the good part was that, sir, like what happened today was that one of my friend he do not wake up in the morning. Sir. Like generally we wake up in the morning and we go outside to run, but one of my friend did not wake up today, so he told me to bring his breakfast. Sir. So I went there, but sir I could not find breakfast. Sir. Like the breakfast was only for one person left. Sir. So I decided to take it and I gave it to him. Sir. So I decided that I would have my breakfast outside and let my friend have this breakfast. Sir. This is something good which I did. Sir which I remember today.
And how long you have been writing this diary for? How many years?
Sir, like earlier, I was not very much into it. I just used to write it. I was very new to it, like when I was in class 8th and 9th. But then, sir, one of my seniors told me that it is very important for you to check back and to look what you are doing throughout the day. Are you effective enough? Are you doing good enough? So it's just around, sir, 1.5 years, sir, that I'm quite into it, sir. Like I'm writing, I'm noting out the details, and I'm trying to introspect myself. Sir.
Okay. Now, I do expect good wishes to you, but say some if you don't clear your GE or NDA, what other options do you think you have?
Thanks, sir. Sir, if I do not clear my NDA or J, subsequently, sir, I have my more attempts in NDA. So, as I have two more attempts in NDA, and there are various entries also, sir. As I'm pursuing BTech, so I will get technical entries, various entries. So, subsequently, I can try for that also. Along with that, sir, as I have my BTech as a backup option. So, subsequently, I would get a university, sir. I would get a fine university, sir. If not IIT, so I will get a university and I will continue that BTech, and then I would try to get a job there, and along with that, sir, I will always try giving my attempts for the defense, sir, as it is my main passion, sir, to join the defense.
Well, Anmol, it was lovely interacting with you. I have asked you a lot of questions. Do you have anything to ask?
No, sir.
Right. It was pleasure interacting with you. I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Right.
Sir, I'm through.
Okay. Let's all unmute ourselves. Okay. Yeah. Who would like to hear? Probably, who will start with? Bata?
Go on, Sakshi. You can start.
Okay, Sakshi, tell me, let me have your views first.
Sir, his interview was so good. He was so liveliness. He has power of expression. He has knowledge, and he is determined. He has self-confidence that what he want to do in further. But before this, I just want to know what is French outpass.
French outpass, he simply said without you're going without permission. That is called French outpass.
Okay,
so when you go out to school or college on there, you have got set at time and you skip without permission, you go. That is what French outpass is there.
So, sir, if someone is going without permission, and if in case they are taking outpass and he is asking for something to bring himself,
okay.
I didn't think so. And sir, I found him bit fabricated. I found him that it was all recorded. I mean, bit naturality. I did not find him.
Okay. So natural. What you are saying that he looked prepared output he is giving. Is it coached output? Is it?
Yes, a bit.
A bit coached. Okay.
But sir, yeah, okay. Sir, and he's so organized that if I talk about myself, I didn't even remember what I ate last morning, but he know about his routine, exact particular time, minutes, and hour. So if he's so organized, that is so good.
So that is good. So he's got very well organized, and yes, he is thoughtful, rather very nice. Okay. What else?
Nothing, sir. That's it.
Okay. Rahul, let me have a view.
Sir, I have nothing negative found in him. So he's a very bright kid. I got to know more about him today. And very honestly, I would say that I have to learn many things from him. He's very organized. He's very, he's gone through many things. In his school time also, he did a lot. So honestly, I don't have to say much about him. He's very good. He's a bright kid.
Okay. So you don't have the, okay. Let me just start with Anmol now. The first and foremost, I'll start with, you have got enough capabilities and enough credential of your own. And if you remain natural and if you can just remain normal, you'll walk through any competition, leave aside anything. You have got capability to walk any competition. Let me just very, very fairly tell you around there. You are educationally, you are very well up. You have got sports, you're organized, you seem to be disciplined, and you have held the position of responsibility that indicates people have faith into the society, has got faith into you. So that's the. Secondly, you seem to be, as a group man when you talk about it, when you talk about teammate, because every time we started with your system is called, you said you initially very first CIQ when he asked on there, you talked about teammates and you talked about NCC and so what is basically problem is there seem to be certain, you are not paying attention to the question that he asked. Just be careful around there. Very first CIQ, he did not ask for NCC, and you gave it NCC as a system. He did not ask for other examination around there. He says educational qualification from 10th, 8th onward. That is what he talked about it. You brought in certain extra thing which was not even asked for it. So the problem in you have got so probably anxiety has taken, and probably you want to be slightly show off. That is the business has come to, and that is what your natural instinct gets curtailed. So please let your, I say you have got enough. Just listen to him, have a bit of patience, and try and answer the question, only those questions which are being asked for, and in the same sequence that is being asked. You have tried to, because you have been appeared, you are a bright student, and you have appeared twice SSV, went from good military school. You have all the questions are there, what questions are coming. So you have a tendency to rattle out.
Yes.
So that rattling out has to end. Let it be natural. You have got, I said, if you become just cool, remain cool, and answer with ease. You have to calm, cool, composed. That is what is there.
He's what rightly said, sir. He has to be easy, slightly.
Calm, cool, composed. That's the word. My sincere advice will be you. Walk to any interview. You will walk. You have got energy. You have got everything available. Just you have to keep yourself cool. That's all. Okay. Next, right. So then he says he has asked you. You have some of the question you have not even asked. No, you have not replied. Very first CIQ, he asked you the subjects you liked it. Very nice. Subjects you didn't like, you didn't talk about it. Teachers you didn't like, you never talked about it. Yes, I like the teacher. 2 teachers you talked about it. Very that's okay. Then and so the friends. When you talk about it, they are friends. Why are they close friends? He has to come back later on. You didn't ask him. So they are all friends. We all enjoy. That's one part of it. But why are they friends? What is the reason for that? What is they say close friend? Why do we regard them as close friends? That is the first thing they have not been able to answer. In your exuberance, you just jumped over. Why do you want a friend? That we have already talked earlier also. If you have got friends, and that too, when you call them close friends, there has to be certain qualities with him. One, you have played, okay, that is part of you played games. That's one part. That you cannot be close friends. Only because you have played games together, would it make him a close friend? Close friends are those with whom you share all your thoughts, feelings, and all those. You stand by each other at a time when you need. Okay, and so that is one aspect which has to be looked into it. Not asked. So question which are not the teachers. And then we talk to teacher. Principal is a temporal phenomena in your school. and you have been in school for 7 years. He has asked you about the teacher. And especially when you look at, when you ask us around there, a principal in a Sunday school or military schools are there 2 to 2.5 years. That's the only thing they stay back. But where they interact, the teachers are permanent. Teachers are permanent. Except for the English teacher that you talked about, we talked well about her. That's nothing wrong with the system. But they have to teacher, they would be other teacher. Principal comes in there, he's a different man. So you should, and you said teachers you didn't like much. You have avoided that question. Again, you have avoided it on there. So the subjects which you didn't like it, you avoided it. Teachers you didn't like, again avoided it out from the system. I know it's a then very good thing which I like was you did talk about, you have been talked about teammates and have been going together. That's happiness. That gives you seem to be a team man. And next good thing that you have done was when you said financially I was blessed because my father is happening. So that gives me very good inkling about your relation with your father, that you have got something. Okay. Then he talked about the school. Best thing that you talked about was the what has the school taught you? And that was a very, very well answered question that was very, for you around there. You talked about the mentally strong, independent, bond humming, opportunity and all particular things. Very well handled. That's when you're cool and you're coolly been think about, that is the type of answer you should be able to give it. That is what it gives you credit. That is the front. Now the problem comes up, you rationalize, I use the word, you have a defense mechanism called rationalization. Rationalization was you gave a logic for why did you score 82% in 12th. Only because you were the appointment, number one. Number two, President Gobind was the chief guest. So there are reasons for not doing well. You have just to cover up your reason. You can't afford to give that reason at all. Yes, you did say, okay, it was my fault, but that is no excuse. That is no excuse at all. That is no excuse at all. Look at it, your downward journey. Why? That is one of the reasons what is God from 10th to 12th, you've gone down. Again, now you'll find it very difficult when you have not taken admission to any of these professional colleges. You'll find it very difficult because this question gap will have to be covered up. And this gap is why did you take admission IGNOU? That's unwanted. Even if you wanted to have a JEE, fair enough, then you could have dropped it. If you say, I was good at it and I'm capable of handling it, I am going for JEE. That's nothing wrong. That's probably you've got people have dropped it. Personally, I would believe, irrespective of what happens on there, you must get a degree. Because when you leave 1 year, you are allowing at least 15 to 20 lakhs people to become your competitor. Because understand, 1 year losing is a big year by itself. You're losing 1 year and you're adding more and more competition in your stream as such. So the logic that you gave it on there for joining IGNOU, that's not understood. Secondly, you said you appeared for JEE and you scored 88 percentile. Not a good score at all. Not a good score at all. And still you are trying to be proud of it. That's no, he says, okay, so you should have been very sure because again, I got fair enough and JEE with 88% JEE would have got admission in at least in some colleges. Government college in UP and all you would have got the company. That I'm quite confident about 92%. You may not get, but you would have been in a position to get somewhere. You will not get NIT and other aspect, but some other colleges you would have certainly got it. Secondly, even your Karnataka board, CBE that you talked to 82%, again low. Again low. So the problem comes around it's you ought to have this. So that's you have to very frankly say, yes, I did not do well. I'm trying to improve myself. Though so rather than be proud, you gave the sense of arrogance. I'll use the word arrogance. You will say, yes, I scored 88% of it. I could have got admission, left it on there. You are trying to cover it up. It's not against something. Yes, though as per my standard, which I have set it for myself, this is not at all a standard that we would have admitted. That is what it should have been. That gives cooling effect on the system. What happened? Then you talk very well about your Air Force and Navy. Very, very nicely handled both the question that he asked on there. He did talk about even why, which is the naval Marmagua, that is the ship which is talked that she that does so that you are current with the current affairs that is happening around there. That's very well handled. Okay, then you the worst thing which I ever happened with one which gives me very doubt of being selfish. And that was the when you talked about, and as America, Captain Sicily did bring it out from the telling, why did you ask him to not to play and you wanted to play? What does it mean? Why do you have to go that? Couldn't you find a better example to tell how do you sacrifice each other? It is sacrifice not for you don't play, I'll play. So he has sacrificed himself for you. What have you sacrificed? You didn't even come out for it. Only because you went and stood by your friend for the command house because your examination today, have you sacrificed? Nothing. I won't say that is humanity. Any person will do it. You couldn't afford to sustain. So this is the greatest downfall that I can think about. State accountable. And it gives you my doubts comes straight onto the system. In spite, so within you, there is a sense of you can say selfishness comes into play. In spite of the fact you are trying to cover it, I'm a group man, team man, everything around there, and one simple thing which puts you down very, very gravely down. Okay, so now similarly, even you talk about why Captain them they say mischievous. Okay, the rest of the portion you did try to be conscientious. Fair enough, that I agree with you. And you talked about hobbies, broadcast and all broadcasting. As again, as I have already told you earlier, it's not it's not the case. He has asked you TV, internet, and routine activities with your family and your people. Again, it is in between you have done extremely well, and this again area you have gone down. When an interaction with the family means what? How do you spend time with your family? You had your breakfast, you have gone around there. How do you interact? What help and assistance do you provide to your parents? Only giving us some item that is going with your father, purchasing item does not help. Does not help. So last portion of the case is very badly handled. Very badly handled. I think then you use the word red herring. That simply indicates who has told you to indicate that. Why do you want to say that I am very, very close, and as Sakshi literally put across, you are trying to but you are vomiting out what someone has told you to say. What does red herring mean? Just tell me now, where was the need for bringing this red herring word into the system? Don't try and show off. That's I have always showed exhibition the greatest killer. You are a person who is blessed to have had good brain. You are intelligent. You have got the capacity to put in hard work, and you have done well till now around there. You have not yet analyzed your reason for your failure till now. That's my problem. Twice, if you have not been recommended being a school captain for a system who has you should have exploited that. Probably now you were the school captain when the President Govind came around there. That itself would have been sufficient for you to pass through for the SSB. And you have not by default, you just came back. And somewhere you have to come back by simply says, I was the school captain when as the celebration of the school was there, and I was the person responsible. You would have spent 5 to 10 minutes with the interviewing officer itself. And you walked across from that. That itself is sufficient because no one does that around there. Then you did handle very well about Agni Veer and all those latest topics we have talked about. You handled very well around that. There is nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes up again when you talk about your strength and weaknesses. Strength and weakness. When you talk about strength, very nice, focused. I agree with you. Then you talked about your you said I achieve whatever I want to do it. This is what you said. And the weaknesses that you talked about, second weakness, what was the second weakness you talked about? Tell me.
Basketball position change, center forward.
How does it matter to me? Where is it's irrational. But you would, what, where's that's again, whole, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, तार से गिरा खजूर ना happen, you were on top for that, and you have brought down you to such a low level. Why that low level? No, you're soaring high, and suddenly you come down to ground. Where is the need for it? Tell me, is there any need?
No, sir.
Is that a weakness, first of all?
But even if it's a weakness around there, at your age and time, when you are trying to be professional after 12, your games, your era of your playing games is over. Let me just tell you very, very clearly. You are not going to be national, international, or the district player anymore. If you had to be, you would have been in that area. So thinking about it, that's a wishful thinking. That it means that you are not able to analyze yourself. You're not able to. So even the weaknesses that you talked about is again, you have got fairly good knowledge of current affairs and all your current affairs. That I agree with you. There's nothing wrong. And mind you are blessed because Captain Shashir was interviewing you. Let me just tell you today.
Yes.
For one simple reason, the amount of depth that he has gone into, though he still missed out certain things which he would have gone a bit more. And you are blessed because that is that area, because this gives you where. So overall, things are very simple. I'm telling you, you are still under mental pressure. That is called mental pressure. Anxiety, reduce your anxiety. Okay. And you reduce your anxiety. Who speaks fast? Just tell me fast. Now, those who are anxiety, those who want to vomit out. So that's anxiety. So you have to get over that anxiety, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Second, the analysis that you are supposed to do for yourself, you have not done your analysis. You are still on the जैसे बोलते हैं ना, ऊपर दिखावा के analysis हो रहा है. Analyze yourself, mind you. You are a good person who I can still tell you, watch for it tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you ever talk to me afterwards, at 5 years, 6 years, you will be a better position. That I can convince you today. You will fly. But where will you fly? And how would you fly? That you have to decide for yourself. You have to act the correction at every stage for everyone. The best of the person is essential. It's essential. Okay, so I did talk about all the particular things which are there. You have got enough capability. You can walk on your own merit, provided you take control of all the system that we have talked about it. And this tendency, there's inner, you know yourself better than anyone else. So don't be in exhibition mode. You have to analyze yourself. Analyze. And you have not given me the feeling how to interact with the family. That simply, yes, she looks after me. And the interaction with the family has been missing. I have known that question was totally poorly answered. The way you help your family, they will interact with, even for the neighborhood. You simply give the name of the people, you go and play around and talk to. That is the area. Why do you require? One side you are saying I'm a team man. What have you contributed towards your neighborhood family, neighborhood people? How do you interact? Only walking, talking, that is done itself. In what way? Are you involved in the normal cultural activities, normal activities in the system around there? Someone is ringing up. How are you helping around there? Are you motivating the people to do well? Only because he's doing, two friends are there. What have you contributed towards the society? What do you contribute to people in and around? What have you contributed to your family, to your mother, to your father? Only by bringing some item from the shop done really gives that indication. Okay, so that's basically, I just wanted to, I leave it to Captain Shashir for his analysis now. Okay, all yours, Shashir. Let's have it.
Anmol, basically whatever sir said, you were there, but you are still not there. मतलब वो होता है bar आ रहा है, you are hitting the bar and it is falling down. It's a high jump. You are hitting the bar and the bar is falling down.
Self-inflicted wound. Self-inflicted wound.
So this is the reason why primarily मतलब आपके attempts fail हो रहे हैं. There is nothing wrong with you as right. Sir ने पहली बात यही बोली, you have an excellent personality. Have faith in whatever you are. Natural होता है ना जो, You don't have to be someone, मतलब किसी से आपने सुना हो या आप ग्रुप डिस्कशन करते हो या कहीं से आपको इमेज आ रही है, you are doing a lot of hard work to be in improving. में क्या होता है, हमारा एक ट्रैप होता है ना, trying to improve oneself. At times we forget our strength. We think that that is the strength, मतलब हमें वैसा बनना है, और कहीं ना कहीं इस चीज में वो ये कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है आपके साथ.
That's called idealization. The word is called idealization.
Idealization, correct, sir.
Yes, idealization is there. You try to say, no, you are looking at, you are just copying something. Just say one of today. Now, as a human, let me just tell you that mirroring is a phenomena. And as a human now, today the study talks about it, that we have, our neurons are so much there. Looking at a person, we have tendency to mirror other person. You should be what you are. And even you look at you go to say आप बंदर के पास जाओ, क्या आप जैसे आप करते वही करता है, नहीं करता है?
Yes.
Why do you do that? That's a mirroring effect. That's how the living beings do. Why should you mirror when you got enough capability of your own, when you can walk to some own mirror on there? Why do you want to copy anyone else? You have to analyze yourself. You have just be what you are. That's all.
जैसे मैं ऑब्जेक्टिवली डिफाइन करूं कि अगर 90 का पासिंग मार्क होता तो आप 78 पे आ जाते हो. स्टार्ट आप 90 से हुए, इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग अप slowly steadily you came down because of your positive personality. You did not fall below. So if 90 is a benchmark, as the interview progress you came down to 80, 78 ऐसे. क्यों? क्योंकि आप शुरू में नेचुरल थे एंड उसके बाद देन यू डिसाइडेड टू समवेयर डाउन द लाइन कि मुझे अब ऐसे आंसर्स.
शुरू में गलती कर गया ना, शुरू में गलती कर गया. When he talk about he is trying to show off that I'm a team man from that, that's exactly mistake he has done it. Answer the question on there. You will automatically come around there. When someone looks at the when PIQ is seen by the interviewing officer, he is already there sitting to pass you.
Yeah.
Let me just look your PIQ देखने के बाद ही interviewing officer will like to ask एक candidate मिला मेरे को मैं पास करूंगा.
Exactly, sir.
And he
Exactly. This
started
was
with
the
that.
feeling I had.
First thing that, and the problem कहता है when you are hit wicket अपने आप मार रहे हो, then probably he says यार क्या मैं कहाँ पर जा, thought about एक आदमी पास करूँगा वो भी नहीं पास करने का मौका मिला. Every person, every assessor wants to pass, take a credit. मास मैंने पास किया. He wants to feel that some person is there. He's there to sit to make you to pass you, but you have yourself credit. Okay.
So that is also. No, that was also because I felt somewhere whatever you brought out, and teamwork, cooperation is becoming a major hassle. वो निकल रहा था हर जगह with interpersonal relationships, family के साथ, और like you said about that basketball thing. So वो पूरा clear आ रहा था कि though you say that teamwork is there, so have an introspection. What I'm trying to say is teamwork is not about this thing, but at times people have that feeling of being a team worker. So वो कहीं ना कहीं miss होता है.
You could give him instances of what. Tell me how are people sacrificing each other? You couldn't even give two instances yet.
Yes. वो भी military school का लड़का है.
And only because instances you gave it only. I sacrificed my exams appearing for going to the. But that is a part of duty. That is nothing a sacrifice you have done. Sacrifice कब होता है? Okay, when the problem someone is there in need of it. Okay, here it is. I'm there. मैं अपना खून दे रहा हूँ. आ जाओ. That's the sacrifice, isn't it? That's a sacrifice. Or okay, sacrifice. I will do that. One of my friends who is not doing well in academics. Let me just hold it. I will go back and make him pull him across. That is sacrifice. That is sacrifice. You have to think about. You have got enough instances to talk about it. Take those instance. And that too, when you are telling me that you are writing a diary, then you should have able to pull out certain instances from the system. So that's where I feel bad for one thing. A person who's sitting onto it and he's not going out, then that's a problem.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything
That's
else?
all, sir. That's all I had.
Any question from your side?
I realized that I have to be more natural, sir. That is what.
Not natural. Be original.
Yes, sir.
Originality of thought and ideas is more important. You have to be different. You are a different person. You have got all the capabilities. You can walk through on the system.
Yes, sir.
And you can walk through without any doubt. As far as interview is concerned, without doubt, that you can walk through.
Easy होना है, थोड़ा easy.
Same thing, Manu, you cover it. The way you have gone across in the first group discussion, same thing happened. You had a good thing on that and you succumbed. Now I could relate to two of them.
Right.
Take that again. So that's the any other question from your side?
No, sir. I got to know, sir.
Okay. Any other Rahul and Sakshi? Any question from your side?
No, sir.
Sakshi, any question? Okay. I think it's a very interesting what the interview. I think it's a model from that point of view. A person who sits on there, person, and still he doesn't make it. So that's the problem. Go ahead, walk across. Best of luck. Okay.
Negatives को भी आपको बोलना है. What sir is trying to bring out is if the teachers you don't like, you don't hide.
Sir,
Parents have scolded you, don't hide.
Right.
Teachers have scolded you, don't hide. What I'm trying to say is that positive and negatives are the aspects of life.
Right.
It's our attitude, how we deal with it.
Right.
And that is what sir is trying to bring out all the time. You don't try to be someone because you are not that someone. Getting my point?
Right.
Okay. Okay, right, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. I think I must thank Captain C for sparing his time. I think it
Not at all.